Boom. Cheers, y'all. We're getting right into the fun. So I'm actually giving you guys a sneak peek into my new, basically morning routine. Technically, yes, it's not morning time. I've been holding off all morning for this routine just so I could show it to you guys. I want to just authentically walk you through the entire process because it's something I literally do every single day. I've added some things to this routine. We're going to talk about that. Shout out to Limelight Herbals for hooking me up with their B12 supplement. We're also going to be talking about just the staples in my routine, which I have behind me. A combination of supplements, meal prep, and other tools that I use as a newborn dad and a father of four now, 4 daughters up in the house, and how I kind of like get things done. So we're starting in the kitchen. I'm starting a little bit early. I'm like 15 minutes early. I was just so excited to get started with you guys that I wanted to just get going. I thought this would be kind of fun. I wasn't planning on this. I just got my meal prep in from 2 different companies I work with. And again, these aren't sponsors. These are just like brands that I invest in. So I wanted to just give them some love. Shout out to Fight Ready Meals, Marcus. What's up, homie? And Healthy Meals Direct. They're based out of New York and New Jersey. Both these companies are awesome. Again, they're not paying me to send any of this. It's just like I literally pay for their food. It's been huge during the not only end of pregnancy and the home birth, but just like the newborn stage since I'm taking time off and just wanting to like simplify things. And that's what we're going to get into as well, is not only how you can add in supplements or tools, but ultimately how you can actually remove things from your life to optimize and thrive, especially when you're not feeling your best. That's like something I've been really focusing on over the last month. It's been huge for me. So first and foremost, Limelight Herbals, the difference, I just want to highlight a couple of things between different B vitamins that we can take. I'm going to give you an example. We have 3 main supplemental sources, and then we're going to say 4 when it comes to food as well. We basically have 4 sources that we're going to be taking in B vitamins. We can go with a oral pill supplement. We can go with a liquid dropper. We can also go with the injectable version, or you could just go straight up from your food. Okay. And there's different B vitamins. We're specifically talking about B12. Different B vitamins are going to play different roles. I'm going to specifically be talking about B12 today and my experience with it, where there's value. But across the board, B vitamins in general are going to hold a lot of value in your life and ultimately how they're going to function in your body. Stay within my scope here and not bore you guys too much. But the main highlights I want to share are, number 1, we talked about energy. Right? That is going to be a huge variable when it comes to our B vitamins, is the energy that they can ultimately provide. Number 2, this is a big one that I feel like a lot of people may not be as aware about, is the impact it actually has on your brain and your neurotransmitters and how they work together and being able to ultimately perform. Number 3 is your overall like metabolic function. Just how is your body functioning based on its energetic levels and its metabolic needs. And let me just slide this. I want to see if we had any questions. If you guys also have questions, feel free to let me know. The other piece that I want to dive into here is when we're B vitamin deprived, there's going to be one component of it. When we have adequate levels, there's another component to it. And then when we're like optimal, there's another layer to it. So it's, okay, deficiency, one aspect. When we're like, okay, we're in a healthy range, that's another aspect. And then when we're like at an optimal level, that's another. And then other contributing factors that we're going to look at is how is sleep deprivation coming into play with all of this? Again, not only impacting our overall energy, cognitive performance and function, and then ultimately, like I was talking about, the different means in which we can consume and deliver it. So whether it's, again, injectables, which we're not doing, obviously, we're talking about, that's something you're going to get from your doctor, things like that. Supplement you can buy over the counter in a pill version, or the supplement, again, you can get over the counter, like Limelight Herbal sent over to me, but it's a more efficient absorption rate, the dropper versus the pill, just as a comparison point. The other interesting thing, I'm just going to be really transparent with you guys, when it comes to injectables, you may not feel comfortable, okay? Injectable can have its own value, but transparently, even with me, like I also was like, I haven't even opened up my injectable B12s from my doctor, just because I don't actually have a safe way to remove the needles. Like I'm going to get a separate container here on Amazon. Once I get that, I'm going to start using it and just being able to be safe about it. But that's like a whole other variable, right? We have kids in the house. I don't want to be dealing with that. So I just keep them away. The droppers are kind of the bridge between the pills and the injectables. In my perspective, from a supplementation standpoint, it allows you, again, to be able to get a faster absorption rate, but not have to deal with some of the things around the injections. So the difference between even just, again, if you're getting it from your food, this is another topic. I'm pointing over here because this is my meal prep deliveries that came in. If you are having absorption issues because of gut health problems for a variety of reasons, the now oral pill may not be enough. You may not be maximizing, or even from your food, you may not be maximizing it. But when you use a dropper, this sublingual component, being able to put it underneath your tongue and allowing it to absorb, even starting in your mouth before it even gets into your gut, is a huge advantage to that absorption. All right, so we broke down a little bit on those pieces. We're going to get further into, as I unpack all this food, then I go back into my office. We're going to talk about what does B12 actually do in more depth, where we're going to actually kind of get it from, why you should care, and some of the details. Also, as a bonus, shout out to Limelight Herbals. They also hooked us up with a promo code. You guys get 15% off if you buy it here off of Amazon. They're going to have this promo code running for the next 5 days. So take advantage of it. I would get it live now while you can. You get your 15% discount, but you're also going to be running for the next 5 days to be able to take advantage of it. I'll have the promo code here in the live stream on Amazon. So if you guys are watching anywhere else, hop on over to Amazon, just to even get the live stream and the promo code. You could always save it and get it in the next couple of days. And then, oh yeah, what's up, Nina? Thanks for joining and saying hey, and happy Mother's Day, by the way, Nina, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. It's literally like, 2-3 days after Mother's Day. So with that being said, I'm going to take all, this is not like my normal supplement routine. I wanted to highlight that with you guys and like literally walk you through my supplemental routine and then be able to actually like unpack everything. So the first thing I like to do, I knew what I was doing. So I pre-mixed my water. And what I like to do is I do 1 scoop of my greens. I've worked with a variety of greens companies, both sponsored and just paying. This is just one that I've been trying from a flavor perspective. I literally throw this in with my water. This is their berry blend, or summer berry blend. Amazing Grass, though, is the name of the company. They have a variety of different like mixtures and combos. And overall, so far, from a like flavor perspective, listen, I'm not going to say this is something you're going to drink gladly, but it's not horrible either. It's not like, oh, I got to hold my nose and down it. I'm actually mixing it in with 32 ounces of water because it's doable and it has a decent flavor. Now, the next thing we're going to add is our creatine. That's been something I've been experimenting with too. And if you guys have seen any of this stuff out online with different types of levels of creatine, I even experimented when Hope was first born a couple of weeks ago, preloading with 20 grams of protein each day for 5 days. Now I'm at 2 scoops for the day, which is 10 grams. Thorns supplements are ones that I trust, not because they don't sponsor me, but I've seen them work with the UFC and kind of pass their tests. So anytime I see there's third-party testing and verification, that's like a thumbs up for me. And Thorn's one of those companies that's gone through that. So that's a bonus. So I literally just out of pocket paid for it, wanted to try it out. So far it's been good. The thing about creatine that I think, and again, I won't go too far into the weeds here, but to keep in mind is it's helping not only with, yes, it can help get water into your body and increase your water retention, but it's the ATP replenishment and key source for that formula. Basically, ATP is your initial source of energy from 0 to 15 seconds when you're working out, exercising, whatever. ATP is the key component you're using, and you're going to deplete that. Creatine and creatine monohydrate is going to help you replenish that. It's just another tool to accelerate that process, from my understanding of it. So take it with a grain of salt. Oh yeah. So like what? Mix that up, 32 ounces. We're good to go. So that's the first piece. I do this, and this is a routine I do within usually 15 minutes of waking up. I wake up between 6:30 and, or maybe earlier, maybe a little bit after that, but around 6:30 every day is kind of the time. And this is what I'm doing by like 6:45, 7 o'clock. Okay, so I got my creatine in, I got my greens in. Now I'm going to kind of go through all of my basic supplements, which is not that complex. I have an omega-3. This is the gummy one that I'm highlighting by Zenwise. And I just like gummies when possible in the morning, especially because I'm usually in the first stage of the day, I'm fasting just out of habit. I tend to go for like at least an hour before I'm putting food into my body. So when I can get a gummy in when I'm taking my supplements, I find it helpful to have some calories. So it's 2 gummies, I believe. Yeah, 2 gummies. And the servings on this are, it's 330 milligrams of total fish oil, 100 from DHA, and then 132 from EPA. So transparently, this is kind of like a low dose. I've seen benefits, or my doctors recommended to me, usually 1 to 3 grams. So this is on the lower dosage side, but I like to just kind of get it. And the gummies, it doesn't taste like fish oil or anything nasty. It's actually like good. So now we've got our fish oil in. What I also like to take, because one of the things I haven't shared, is I also have a medication I've been taking in the morning since November now, which one of the byproducts of that is it can strain your stomach. So I've been making sure I'm taking my digestive enzymes in the morning to help support that and just get all of the digestion pieces lined up. Having pre and postbiotics. Now that's the other benefit too, going back to the greens. It's going to have some of that in here as well, but I like to just like double dip where I can. So I consider the greens like my multivitamin. When I run it out, I kind of go back to a basic multivitamin. Got my omegas. Let's see. Then this is statistically, from what I've seen, probably the thing that you are most likely to be deficient in, vitamin D. The last data point I saw was 88 to 92% of Americans are vitamin D deficient. So this is a D3K2 combo, 1 capsule. It's plant-based. Throw it down. Basic standard stuff. Boom. All right. Then to kind of round it out, we're going to go with this one. I consider more of the like cognitive performance. This in particular, this is a newer one to me. This wouldn't be in my normal top 5, by the way, for people. So I'm going to like kind of rank my top 5 supplements here, and then I'll highlight where this falls into it. But this one is actually, I hadn't even heard of lithium as a supplement until this brand reached out to me. They sponsored me. They sent it to me. I was like, I'm going to try it. What I did find is where it's most impactful is when you're not feeling good, sleep deprived, or low on energy, and then you have to cognitively or physically perform. So I was taking it on my normal days where I had normal sleep. I didn't really see a benefit. Where I've seen the most benefit with this, whether I have a long day of coaching, which I've taken about a month. I'm taking time off right now just to support with a newborn, all that fun stuff. But where I've seen this is when I'm not feeling good, or I'm sleep deprived, didn't get a lot of sleep, or I'm just run down. I'll take one of these. Again, it's a sublingual. It dissolves under my tongue. So when we talk about sublingual, similar to the B vitamin, that's where you're going to get more absorption. Just let it kind of naturally dissolve. And again, it's not like a supercharged, like, boom, all of a sudden I got all the energy. It's just, I feel like I can cognitively perform a little bit better. I had an entire slide deck I gave on a live stream on that. I can go back to that if you guys have questions. So that's kind of the morning routine, as it were, my supplemental breakdown. Now what we're going to do is I'm just going to kind of like shoot the ish with you guys a little bit, unpack my meals. And I'm also going to talk about a particular product that I got specifically for this. But before I do that, what's up, Nina? Let's see what you got. So thanks, homie. I gave myself the gift of a broken ankle the day after Mother's Day. What? Why are you doing that? What happened, bro? What'd you do? Don't do that. So another thing we're going to get into is the meal prep. And part of the thing for meal prep with me is helping save on the energy. Now, one thing I got, because one of the things that happens for me is I'm not always home. I'm coaching, I'm traveling, I'm picking up my kids, I'm bringing them back, whatever. And I don't always want to go to the restaurant. So I got this I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? In a lot of the places I go to, there's not a microwave for me to use, because even though I use meal prep from these companies, guess what? All this stuff still has to be reheated. I'm trying to see if I can grab one of these out of here, but they're all sealed up really good. So we're going to save it. But the point is, all these fridge and frozen meals have to be reheated. So I'm like, how am I going to reheat this thing if I don't have access to a microwave? So check out what Amazon has. Amazon has all the answers. This is one I just literally bought. Travelism, I think is, if I'm saying it right. Travelismo has this little plug-in lunchbox. So you can just throw your food in here, plug it in the car. It's got a car-friendly adapter, so you can plug it into your cigarette lighter, plug it in right here, and you can heat your food up in your car. So if I'm going to pick the kids up, or I'm in between calls or whatever's going on, I can just plug this puppy in. Let me see, here it is right here on this side. We're going to plug this puppy in. Oh, look, the kids are home early. Nice, or on time. I was just like unboxing. I got all the food in, so I'm like live streaming, and I just figured I'd unbox too.
You're live streaming right now?
Yeah, I'm like live right now.
Oh, okay.
But I'll just move into the office.
No, you're fine. I was going to ask for an assist with the children. But...
So check it. Look, so we plug this puppy in, and then I can take whatever my meal prep is, throw it right in here, and I can heat up naturally in the car within a couple minutes. So it just works like a microwave, but it's travel friendly. So it's a single serving meal. It's not going to be great for, like, again, doing an entire robust thing, but for like single use. I haven't even thought of my commercial drivers that I've worked with in coaching, but for someone that's like in the car a lot, this is the move. Yeah, it's super cool, right? Whoa, you got surgery next week? Dang, okay, Nina, be safe. I'll have to dive into that. But I thought this was super cool, and right now it's got a little deal. So I figured, why not share? It's got a little like container. It even comes with a fork and a knife so that you can do your thing. And it's just like super travel friendly. So we are going to move though. So the plan was to unbox all this fun stuff. However, I wasn't expecting Cari to get back with the kids so soon. She's super efficient. Maybe they'll come in and say hey real quick. And then we're going to move into our office space and get into the rest of the fun. So I kind of covered the routine, but we'll dive into the rest of this. Hey, Tessa, move on. Can I give you a huggy?
I got it.
I heard, huggy. You want to tell me where you got it?
I got it here.
Oh, yeah. It's so cute.
Yeah, I also got a tick.
Yeah, do you have it?
Yeah.
So apparently Tessa got bit by a tick at school today. Right, Tessa? So you know what I'm going to do, Bubby? Come here. Do you want to see what I'm doing? Come here. Look, Daddy's live on Amazon right now. I'm like live. So you can even watch on the TV if you want to. And I'm going to bring all this stuff into the office, and I'm going to hang out with everyone for a little bit. And then I'm going to come out. When I do, you can tell me all about what happened at school.
But can you help me get a tick pad? I have a tickets in a little bag.
Ooh, where is it?
I don't know where Cari put it on the shelf. I think it's at the
Oh, I see it. All right, let's go get this and check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is it?
Hmm.
Can I reach it somewhere?
I don't see it.
It was,
I think it's. Do you see it?
wait. I don't see it. But I think.
I bet you Cari knows where it is and she can tell us.
Okay, maybe her can.
All right, y'all. So let's bring it into the office now and break down some more details, not only around, now we've talked about the morning routine. I wanted to share some more details on, like, again, how I've been shifting up my plan a little bit, what my plan is over the next 100 days to like thrive in this newborn dad, daughter of 4 kind of environment. But actually, really quickly, before we do, come over here. I do want to show y'all something that I might even need Tessa's help with. Now, shout out to my manager, Gina. She's giving me some great feedback on lighting. Gina, I apologize. The natural lighting here is what it is.
It's on the counter
It's
in
on
the
the counter?
kitchen.
Ooh, okay. Oh, I see it. Yes, the tick is right over here.
Where's the tick?
So see it right there?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the tiniest
So a
tick.
tiny little tick. So Tessa, do you know what we're going to do? I need your honest help here.
Okay.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the ice cream that we made. I want to tell everyone about the ice cream. Remember the ice cream that we made?
It's folds out.
Yeah, this is all the ingredients. So let's talk about first what we use. First, we use our Ninja Creamy. This thing is absolutely clutch.
Wait, ice cream is gone?
Yeah, but we made more. Don't worry. So look, we're going to push this. Hey, Anna.
Hey,
You
Annie.
can just turn this to load it.
Annie, you want to see a bag again?
This is like interestingly set up.
Where? I want to show Anna a bag.
Okay.
I don't want to see a bag.
Here.
I think it won't come out. See? It's right there. I think it's not dead. It says
Yeah, just don't touch it. Just leave it right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about how this is going to fit. So you can plug it in, simply turn it on, hit the ice cream button. So simple. I have some great videos on that. If you guys want to see that, just keep on swiping if you're watching. You're so strong, baby. But a cool piece to this is, check this out. I'm gonna show you guys simply how to set this up. Don't mind the craziness with us. So this is our cover. We're gonna pull this latch right here, Pop it in. Boom. Nice and secure. Now, you're going to take your pint of ice cream. Look at that. I just happen to have one pre-made. This is a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup infused flavor while using the Ghost protein powder and our pudding mix and our powder. I have all of these in the carousel, so you guys can actually buy this right now on Amazon. Oh, hey, what's going on, Lori? So good to see you. Thanks for dropping in and saying hey. So we've got the Ninja Creamy. Now let's highlight our ingredients that we used. And then if you guys want more like full-blown details, this isn't even my recipe. I got it from someone else and we're tweaking it. I used for this time around our Hoosier Hill Farms peanut butter powder. But honestly, the True Nut powder is also a great option. Both of these are almost identical as far as their macros and ratios and calories. I just happen to have the Hoosier Hills Hill one open first, so I use that one. Again, the cool part about having powder versus regular nut butter is, look, for 2 tablespoons, you get 70 calories and 8 grams of protein versus if you're using a regular nut butter, that'd be 200 calories with the same amount of protein. So you're basically pulling all the oil out, just that much more efficient. Yeah, long time for sure. So that's the first thing is we got our powder in here. Then we also have to have our pudding mix that adds a little bit of flavor. Now, transparently, we went with an organic pudding mix right here. If you want to save on calories, you want to save on sugar, you can go sugar-free. But Cari is very particular on not going with sweeteners. She likes sugar. I care a little bit less. There's a reason behind that. I would let Cari explain it. We won't go too far into the weeds. The summary is basically when you're going with sweeteners, you're still going to get an insulin response for the most part, and there's some other implications that can happen. But that's our other powder. Then I went on to, this is the key star of the show here, our Nut Butter Ghost protein powder. This thing is awesome. Again, whey-based protein, 1 rounded scoop, 160 calories, 26 grams of protein. You got 1 gram of fiber, total 3 grams of sugar. Nothing crazy, great flavor, and it's an actual crunch pieces of nut butter. So we got all that. Let's put our topping on and let's fire up this blender to actually show you guys why. Oh, the only thing I'm missing is, look, you got to take this top part off. So this is what it's going to look like, by the way. When you freeze it, look at that. Doesn't look that appetizing, right? But give it time and you'll see. So just so you guys can kind of get an idea of how this gets set up. Hey, who wants ice cream? Pop it right on. We're going to turn it. Now we're just going to plug this in. You want ice cream, Tess? Yeah. Okay, ready? So look, we're going to pop ice cream. Boom! Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you can tell, it's a little loud, just a little bit. So you might be wondering, why am I putting on lotion right now? I'm going to tell you in a minute. See, now my hands are nice and hydrated. It just feels good. And it smells good, too. So we're getting into the home stretch now. It's kind of mixed it all up. Now it's done mixing, but we're not done just yet. We're almost there. The only variable we're going to do here is, look, it's not that smooth consistency that we're looking for. And the girls want ice cream. They're being super patient. Watch what we're going to do. You just throw in like a splash of milk. That's the one thing from the powdered ingredients I went over, but first you're going to put in milk when you first freeze it. Let it freeze for 24 hours, and you're going to see it like this. But what I found helpful is to smooth it up. Throw in just like a splash of milk or whatever like liquid you want to use, and then we're going to respin it. It's going to take like a minute or two, and then it's going to be good to go. And look at the consistency. Now, before I do that, I also wanted to share why I highlighted my WBM lotion and cream. This is the other part to my morning routine that I've found. Also, shout out to my homie Deuce Carter, by the way. He really helped emphasize for me just taking time to like put lotion on my skin as a self-care act that I would just overlook for a variety of reasons. So not only do I like in the morning routine put my supplements on, doing something for myself, which is that lotion and just like taking care of my skin. And speaking of, let's go back to our Ninja Creamy, which is the other part which comes into this strategic play. This is all like strategic, by the way. My morning routine, the supplements, the food, the meal prep, how we're preparing this is to put quality things into our body while also filling up like my pleasure cup, my productivity cup, and the ability to be present with the kids and show up for my family as well as in my business and in my coaching so that I can fire on all cylinders as close to that as possible. And that goes back to even the B vitamins and the supplements and all that. So now we're just going to respin and it's going to be good to go. Now check the consistency this time around. Wait for it. It's so close. We're so close, y'all. It's going to be so good. And again, got to get our hydration on. Who's ready for ice cream? Anna, you want ice cream? Okay. All right, so ice cream is done. Now check out the consistency difference here. What I also highlighted really quick, y'all, is our 28-day reset book. The reason I highlighted this book is this captures the entire principle of how I'm like approaching things right now. Whether it's with our ice cream, how we can enjoy it, whether it's with our training. Oh, what up, Eric? What you doing, coach? Might do doing a combination of things, but right now I'm making ice cream for the kids. I pre-prepped. Let me just show you. Look at this. Look at that. Look how smooth that is now. So this is a protein-infused Reese's peanut butter cup flavored ice cream. It's about 500 calories for the entire pint, 45 grams of protein. Okay. Now, I didn't do that for the kids, the protein and all the calories and all that fun stuff. It's more having control of what went into it. For me, though, is I'm more mindful of the protein and the calories for my own goals. And that's what we talk about, even in the 28-day reset, is having protein with every meal, having quality ingredients. We actually are revamping it. Now, this is our 4th revision. So it's really dialed in a lot of the lifestyle things I've learned over the years to make it effective. I'm like, oh, man, look at this ice cream, y'all. Carrie, do you want some too?
No, I'm good, baby. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So.
I like all at the table, Carrie.
I know.
Tessa is the behavior police. So let me just show you guys this real quick. Look at how delicious by the Ninja Creamy. I'm going to again highlight the Ninja Creamy with our 28-day reset. In our 28-day reset, we give you access to our app that has recipes just like this and beyond. So the Ninja Creamy is the move where it's at. Let's serve it up to the kids and see what they think. Here, Tessa. Honey, you want ice cream? Come on, come sit down. Here, Bobby. Yeah, she's probably going to Bobby. I can tell from the burger.
No.
Okay, it's okay. It's all right if you are. So, ice cream's been made. Awesome. Always need some diet tricks. Yeah, man. And honestly, the best way I've looked at it, and I'm going to just show you guys one more time. So, baby, I didn't get a chance to put away the meal prep. I figured I'll do that after the live stream. I'm just going to like go into the office so it doesn't get too crazy. So, what? Okay. come with me, y'all. We're going to slowly get set up for the live stream now. I was planning on the kids getting home like right now. So this was the transition time. And you guys get to see as my office is slowly coming together. Let's get it set up here. Look at that. We got all the fun stuff over here. More things we're going to get into. And then we'll break down some details of just the planning of all of this. The other thing I'm going to show you guys that I like that helps with my morning fasting is my coffee protein combo. That's what helps facilitate the first like hour or two of going throughout the day without having something to eat. That's been clutch. All right, so continue with our hydration. Got some more fun stuff. The other thing I have over here too is the LOF bands, which, fun fact, y'all, I just upped our inventory for the LOF bands. We've got another 50 units coming in. So we'll dive into that as well. This has been another like key component into my newborn health kind of routine throughout the last 3 weeks. This is like a cool data point. I'm not sharing it to be braggadocious, but to more so highlight the value of how you can use a plan and consistency and be able to get results. So I just happen to have a copy of our book right here, as if I was planning it. So we got our 28-day reset. Again, we have the digital version as well as the printed version. And in this, it covers nutrition. It covers your body as far as what body type you might have. And again, this is kind of like, some people would argue it's a dated perspective. But I think if you apply it with the knowledge we put in here, it's going to serve you. And then we have week 1, which is a little bit of a kind of reset protocol to reestablish habits. And then we give you an entire shopping list, meal plan, access to our app so that you can actually track all this with an app, and you can even get a coach if you want to for the support. Then we give you an entire workout program. Again, not only in the book, if you want to use the book and the printed version, you could just use that, but you also get access to our app where you can have everything digitally done. And if you don't feel confident yet, we even have coaches for accountability that you can get as all part of it. And this just, again, it gives you every day laid out, and it's for pretty much all levels. You can adapt and modify this. And then it gives you the next steps as far as what can you do now. And if you have any questions, we even have references in here to all the research or the data we're pulling from it. And you can always get a hold of us as well. So between that and the resistance bands, it's just like a money combo. And that's what wanted to just kind of highlight. Yeah, totally. Consistency is key, and most success, great and small. Yeah, 100%. Eric, you know the deal. So I wanted to see what you guys might have questions on. And really quickly, I want to take this as a moment to pause. Thank you to Limelight Herbals for sponsoring this live stream and talk. But I also wanted to give a shout out to a brand I've been working with for a while, which is our WBM brand. And since we just had a baby, I wanted to highlight, they also have baby-based products like a baby face cream. Like, one thing we've just ran into since we just started giving Hope some more baths and getting her body clean and all of that, because now, unfortunately, the newborn smell is wearing off, y'all. The newborn smell is starting to fade. So we've got products like this from WBM. The one other product I wanted to highlight from them is their magnesium oil. That's something I've been using for a long time. If you guys have been watching any of the streams, you know about this. The magnesium they have, absolutely clutch. Again, when we think about like a lifestyle, to be able to calm down in that evening routine. This has been helpful for myself as well as for the kids. Cari and I will do massages with the magnesium oil, and more for me. She's like, honestly, her body is very sensitive, and the amount that I used is way too much for her. So she got a headache. So now she has like a kind of impacted perception of it. But if you just use the spray bottle that can get with this, do like 5-10 sprays, it'll make recommended amounts. Stick with that. But just again, shout out to WBM from a sponsorship and a support perspective. To me, it also aligns because I think of with our routines being to have tools. These are all tools, but you don't need supplements. Supplements are like the last 10% of the equation. That's why even in the book, we talk about whole food based things. You saw before, I have all my meal prep was just delivered. I'm getting most of this from my food. And then when I'm not getting enough sleep at night, I'm using these tools as strategies to bridge the gap, whether it's, again, to get the most out of my sleep when I am sleeping using magnesium oil. It also helps from an electrolyte balancing perspective. Yes, I'm drinking coffee. I still have caffeine, but I keep caffeine until pretty much over the next 30 minutes. By the end of this live stream, that's going to be the last bit of caffeinated anything I'm going to take into my body. I also find it helpful. I'm going to highlight this protein shake, Premier Protein. Again, they're not a sponsor of mine. This is something I pay for. I just like, I'm not saying you have to do this, but what I find is one of the most effective kind of tools for me to get my protein numbers in and to help when I'm on the go, especially when I don't have a huge appetite in the morning. I literally will just do coffee and throw in my protein and mix it up, and it's money. Now, yes, is it more expensive than if you were to just use the Ghost nut powder and mix it up? So what I find is I'll buy a pack of this. I want to say it's like a 24 pack that it comes in. I'll buy that every 2 weeks. And then in the meantime, I also have like my protein based powders, whether it's, I also have collagen based protein right here from Sports Research. They kind of hooked it up. Or if you have your like, again, whatever your go-to flavor protein powder, I'm just going to highlight the collagen. The one thing I want to say really quickly, specifically with collagen and peptides, if you're taking it exclusively for like skin benefits and tissue benefits, I think you could be getting more bang for your buck elsewhere with just the quality of food, sleep, and other things you're focusing on. But if you're focusing on your collagen, your peptides from the protein, that's where it's at. And this is unflavored. So whether you throw it in with your coffee, I use it even with the Ninja Creamy or baking or cooking. It's a great way to get extra protein in that you won't necessarily notice. Or if you have certain flavors you like, again, going back to my coffee and mixing in either the Premier Protein, or I'll highlight again the nut butter from Ghost. That flavor has been on point, and the kids have really enjoyed the Ghost whey protein flavor in the ice cream. They don't even know it's protein that they're tasting. They just like the flavor and they like the crunchies of it. So I wanted to just kind of like highlight that. And I want to pause here for a second too to ask, like, what if any questions might y'all have? I touched on a couple of different things, and I want to make sure that I'm adding value, not just talking about the products. The point of me coming on is just to discuss my routine, to go over as a newborn, the benefits of B vitamins, yes, and where it fits into routine, but also to address questions that are coming up. And specifically, I have a 100-day plan structure that I lay out that I'm happy to share with anyone that's interested. You can either shoot me a message here while we're live and I can get a way to deliver it to you, or you can just go to our link tree. And on our link tree, I'm going to show you guys something really cool. We actually have our free 100-day plan linked up in our link tree. So if you're not sure how to access that, I'm going to show you because I got your back, y'all. And my point for all of this is, yes, we have paid coaching and all these paid resources you can leverage. We're even working on now insurance options, and we got HSA and FSA. But the point of doing all this is to make it accessible. So if finances seems to be the blocker, you have resources here. So check it out. If you go to our link tree right here, yes, we have Transform Your Health application. But if we go down right here, 100-day fitness plan. So if you click on that, it's going to give you access to this program. And it's a step-by-step guide over the next 100 days, how you can set up your plan to hit your goals. Okay, we have everything mapped out here for you as a free resource. Another thing I would recommend taking advantage of, I talked about when you buy our bands, you're also going to get free access to this 4-week workout program. Right here, you sign up for free, no commitment. It has a link right here for the bands. You can get them. If you already have a set of bands, you just want to work out, I made it available for you guys. Another resource that I want to encourage is just our newsletter. Just like jump on the newsletter. We're going to be sending out more. And you can always book a call with me. If you've never booked a call, the first one's free, just to chat to see if it's a good fit. Again, you can order our bands here. We also got our top picks. There's just so many resources up here for free that I always like to highlight for you guys. So with that being said, I'm going to circle it back to the live stream and see what, if any, questions I might have missed. I've been just kind of chatting here for a while. I love seeing Nina. Thanks for jumping in. And Lori, thanks for jumping in. Yeah, it's been a long time, and I'm excited to be back. We're going to be live streaming more. Transparently, one of the things I wanted to come back to with this 100-day plan that I set as an intention was to actually do less. And what I mean by that is I have all these supplements, and I have been investing in meal prep. I've invested in because Carrie's obviously recovering, we made sure to get someone that can help clean the house and do these tasks so that we can focus on our time with baby Hope. And also at the time I was actually planning on working, but Carrie faced some health things going on. So I actually took an entire month off. So I'm enjoying having a month off up until like the next 2 weeks from some of my coaching contracts. I'm still working with some like in-person clients and still doing obviously live streaming, content creation, because I just love this stuff. But it's been really nice to be able to take that time off when you have it. Not everyone has that ability, right, to take time off. But when you have it, take advantage of it. Especially when you're welcoming a newborn into the world. That's such a like precious time. But even let's say you don't have a newborn, and let's just say you're like, that sounds great, Mike, but I don't have that. I'm willing to bet you might have some time off at work. And what I would encourage, instead of saving that time off for a vacation where you're going to probably blow a bunch of money and just eat a bunch of garbage food and not actually set yourself up for more success, is take some time off, even if it's a couple days, a week, a long weekend, to reevaluate what's important to you. Even use this 100-day plan to strategically lay out what does that look like, and then be able to take day in and day out action. And maybe it's just continuously taking things off your plate. Like for me, it was like, okay, I'm not going to be doing 20 hours of contracted coaching over the next another 2 weeks for a month, where I was allocating 20 hours of coaching time as a contract deal to be able to do certain things for my business, and then being able to allocate 10 hours in an administrative executive role in my business, and then being able to have my coaches run the rest and being able to do content creation, things like that. Pull that back all the way back where I'm maybe spending 5 hours a week between coaching and administrative stuff. And the rest of my time is with my kids and with Cari and baby Hope and like all the things. So figure out, what does that look like in your life? Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're not pulling back. Maybe you're going to do more, but it's being able to find out, okay, I'm going to stop going out and drinking on Fridays because that's wasting time. And I'm going to spend that time actually doubling down on my business or on my future or on my education. Or maybe it's just, I'm going to do less working out. For me, that's one of the biggest things. I've done less jujitsu. Not that I love not doing jujitsu. It's been helpful for my body healing. I've been focusing on more of my mobility, my strength, my sleep, my aerobic health, some other things that have been really beneficial for my body and my mental health, and being able to figure out it's okay to be able to do those things. And there could be seasons to that as well. So going back to even why I wanted to do the B vitamins specifically for this, I want to highlight some other things that can come up specifically around why does B12 actually work and what does it actually do? So let's get into that. And I believe I've got one of my B12s. I left them both out there. So let's go get that really quick. And then we're going to dive into the whys and the whats and all that good stuff. Still working on this office space though. It's still a little tight, but we're going to get into the why B12 and what does it actually do. All right. So again, it goes beyond just how we're going to consume it, whether it's a supplemental version, whether it's a food-based component. It's going to support, again, our metabolic function and our energy production, which is overall going to maintain a healthy system. We're also going to look at the nervous system and the cognitive component of it. It's going to maintain the myelin sheath of our neurons. So that's like what helps with the reactivity, conductivity, and overall health of the neurons and the neurotransmitters in our brain. So it's protecting basically its shell or one of the kind of components around it. And again, that's not just with B12 in a dropper version. This is all B12. I'm just kind of highlighting it from Limelight since they were kind enough to hook your boy up. But in general, B12 can be such a clutch thing. This is like very transparently. When I was 11 years old, I got Epstein-Barr. And ever since, it's been obviously something I get to deal with. And when I overwork myself, it comes up. My doctor would give me B12 injections, and that would last for maybe about a month. And maybe that was some placebo, but I found being able to supplement and mindful of nutritionally what food's coming in, whether it's meats, higher protein sources tend to also overlap with B vitamins as well. But being able to get it in from food as well as in my nutrition drastically helps. Another component can really help with is red blood cell production. So carrying oxygen. So if we're sleep deprived, let's just look at what sleep deprivation is going to facilitate as far as in an environment for us, especially with sleep and stress. Our B12 is going to get depleted. So we're going to have deficiencies in it overall, which is going to lead to fatigue, irritability, and brain fog. the accumulation of stress is going to disrupt our digestion, which is going to ultimately impact how we're able to absorb the B12 from our food. That's like another interesting layer. When you're chronically stressed, especially sleep deprived with stress, your gut health becomes really important and as a pairing, which is why I was talking about digestive enzymes and other things before as part of my supplement morning routine and overall my food getting the right fiber in. Another layer is the methylcobalamin version of the B12, which is the most bioavailable version, which is what they're using in the Limelight Herbals B12 blend. Now, again, your food source is going to be awesome and ideal. And that's where 80 to 90% you're going to really want to focus. But if you're chronically stressed, you're impacted with your sleep, to help bridge that gap, work on what's stressing you out, whether it's taking time off, reevaluating your career, your life, whatever, being able to then have probiotic rich supplements and foods coming in to help support your digestive health. But in the meantime, at least to get the proper absorption, getting to a sublingual dropper versus the pill, because then your body will be able to absorb more of it, especially once you're dropping it under your tongue. So here's an interesting data point too. The recommended daily amount for your B12 is 2.4 mcgs, or the units per day. Higher dosages, like in this, for example, let's just read. I believe it's, it's 5,000 mcg. So that's, what is that? 208,000 percentages over what your daily recommend is. Why so much? Well, few reasons, especially when we look at clinical studies and trials. The benefit to that higher dosage without the toxicity levels can be used in a therapeutic setting as well as in an acute setting for getting your deficiency back up to a quote unquote normal or optimal level. So if you're playing catch up, having that higher dosage in a very short period of time can be extremely beneficial. Your body can utilize it. So again, for the newborns, influencing your life, and my new parents out there, that's one aspect. Or you're just chronically stressed with your work and your career, and maybe your career is not going to change. Maybe you're a lawyer, firefighter, a police officer, law enforcement, I don't know, whatever the career path is. There's a variety that I've seen. Even as an entrepreneur, there's going to be stress. We can shift our perspective of the world, but there's going to be some things in a chronic stress environment that'll be more prevalent, that being able to have this is going to help bridge that gap. And then being able to just be mindful of your habits, your lifestyles. Again, going back to the book, going back to our bands, being to go back to all these variables that come into play. So I just wanted to highlight that again for the B12, why that's important, why I want to share that with you guys. Again, we have a plan in place that you can get free access to. I'm going to lay out what I'm doing over these 100 days. And this is something I'm actually working on with Cari. And then I'll start to kind of bring it home. I'll see if we have questions in the chat. And again, the goal is to just add value for you guys. So if you have questions throughout this process, even if it's not directly on this, just drop it. Let me know. If you guys end up watching the replay on Amazon or elsewhere, let me know. I love seeing in the comments where you guys are watching this. So when we think about our 100-day plan, the first thing that usually is prompted here, and I'm just going to literally read it to you from line by line, is to figure out what is the context and what is important to you. What I mean by that, set the context. Like, what are you prioritizing? What is the deal that you want to create at the end of these 100 days? And it starts with having a contract. So for me, my contract to myself is I am an authentic, vulnerable, finishing man. So I'm authentic with myself and with others throughout my experiences. I'm vulnerable because in the past, one of the things I've very honestly been challenged with is speaking my truth and having my authentic self be seen. Because then if you see the real me, right, and I'm vulnerable and I'm authentic and you don't like that, that really hurts. Versus if I just give you a mask of something, then okay, you didn't like that person, but that's not the real me. So it doesn't hit as hard and close to home. So first figure out what's your contract to yourself. What are you creating in these 100 days? And that's going to decide and dictate what you're going to pay attention to. So we're going to pick more than just one thing, by the way. So health is going to be one of the requirements for sure, but we're going to pick two other categories. And these categories are going to take place in either personal, family, leisure, community, career / business / education, or relationships. So for me, I'm picking health, obviously. So we're going to pick our health, and then we're going to pick a measurable health goal. So when I think about I'm authentic, I'm vulnerable, and I'm finishing, whatever I'm doing with this health goal, I'm going to see through. I'm going to be authentic with myself. I'm going to be vulnerable as I go through this process. So if I have success, I'm going to share that. If I have failures or challenges, I'm going to share that. I'm going to be authentic with that experience. I'm going to be vulnerable. If I'm challenged or struggling, I'm going to share that. and I'm going to finish. I'm going to see this through. That's where my contract comes into play for this plan. So around the health, I'm going to be working towards what my big focal point, honestly, is there's a component around body composition. Like I'm working towards about 15% body fat. That's something that I got to last year. It was just over, it was like 15.8, I think, one of my last body scans. And then a variety of things happened in life. Cari got pregnant. The storm happened here, Hurricane Helene, and then it was going into fall into winter. And I tend to fluctuate about 5 to 10% of body mass from the spring and summer months into the fall and the winter. That's just what I've seen as a routine for myself. So that somewhat aligns with it. But one of the other things is as I fluctuate, instead of 10%, I want it to be closer to 5. So dialing that in, being able to see that. So part of that is, yes, my body composition getting to about 15%. But it's less about my total weight. In the past, it'll be like, oh, I want to be sub 200 pounds, 15%. Now, I don't care what I weigh. I care more about like my overall health, quality of life. I want my labs. So when I go to see my doctor, my testosterone, my hormone levels, my blood report, my cholesterol, my aerobic markers, my VO2 max, which is not even related to my blood. I'm just giving different markers. Those are in line. So I have a health goal around that. I want to be 15% body fat. And then I have some other metrics around this. For my deadlift, I always get to deadlift twice my body weight. For my squats, I get to squat twice my body weight. And for my bench press, I always get to at least bench my body weight, if not do 1.5 times that. When it comes to push-ups, I always get to be able to do 50 push-ups. And when it comes to pull-ups, I get to do 10 pull-ups. These are consecutively. These are some of the marks that I have. And then when it comes to my core strength, I'm able to hold a plank for 2 minutes. Transparently, some of these numbers I already have. Some of them I don't. Like right now, I can't bang out 10 pull-ups consecutively without having to at least let my feet touch the ground, take a moment to relieve my grip in my back, and then go again. I can do 6 to 7 right now. Push-ups, I'm in the 50 to 60 mark. When it comes to my deadlift, I haven't actually checked it. I've used a trap bar, and at the gym, I'm using mostly like different machines. It's probably like 1.5 or 1.7. So somewhere in that range. The point is having measurables. So then every week we can backtrack and reverse engineer that. The other part is what I've been kind of working on with Cari. So what are the other arenas and goals I want to focus on? Whether it's in my relationships, being able to have level 10 relationships with Cari, with my kids, being able to level that up. Where if I were to be honest, where I'd put it, and I told you this the other day, probably at a 8.5, 8.7. But why doesn't it get to be a level 10? So I get to put the work in on that. It's not anyone else's fault but my own why my relationships aren't at a level 10. So I get to work on that. And then in the where I tend to have the potential challenges around the leisure time or like relaxing time, fun time. So I'm setting a goal to once a month go out and socialize, whether that means I'm going out to Greenville to go see my homies over at Redemption MMA and not just train with them, but to be able to just have some social time with them. Maybe it's going down to Rogue Combat Club here in Nashville, not just doing classes, but to go and get some food or get to hang out or go to an event they have on Fridays or different things like that, getting social components of my leisure time where I'm not just working with my family, working out and repeating, and that's all I do. We're like content creation. And then when it comes to an artistic goal, that's like our creative goal. That's like one I'm excited about. That's one I haven't decided. So I'm transparently, the jury's still out on that. I might go back to working on guitar, or I might go to a dance, which I've done in the past, or I might go to like drawing or artistic or journaling and writing expression. But the point is we're picking these different goals. That's what I want to encourage you guys to do. So that's a little bit of first having context on your goal. Now we get to lay it out over the next 100 days, which is roughly about 14 to 16 weeks. So hold on. Let me just double check if I did the math right on that. Does that sound right? 16 weeks? So 12 weeks would be what, 84? So yeah, it would be like 14 weeks. So if you're going to have 14 weeks, you literally say, all right, at the end of the 14 weeks, I want to be at, for me, 15% body fat. Let's do my check right now. I'm at 20% body fat. So that means I got to lose 5% body fat over 14 weeks. Do the math. What's that break down to on a weekly basis? Then the other cool part is what is the actionable that I get to do to facilitate that. So I'm going to just bring you to, I'm going to screen share here just to give you guys an idea of what does that look like. And for the most part, it's not just the math. It's the actionable, but it's like, okay, and this person was just specifically in this example saying, I weigh 149. I want to get to 129. Okay. I'm imagining transparently, this is a female that's somewhat shorter because if you weigh 150 and you want to go to 130, you're probably going to have to be somewhat of a smaller stature. But you can look, the goal weight loss is 2 pounds on a weekly basis. And then you actually log it week by week and you check in where am I at by comparison of where I want to be. So at the end of every week, if you're like, all right, cool, I've been cruising on, then boom, 1 week you don't lose anything, you gain 4 pounds. Like, okay, I get to adjust now and pivot and be able to have, that's where honestly having the coaching side of it comes in. Now, if we add in, look, this other goal, which is more of a personal goal, has actions to be taken. So if we took this health goal beyond just the numbers and we defined, okay, this week I'm going to go to the gym 3 times for 30 minutes doing aerobic training in zone 2. So my heart rate's going to be between 120 and 140. I'm just kind of making up these numbers. Then did I do it? Yes or no? It's an objective yes or no. And then you can just, did I adhere to the plan? From my experience, if you stick to your action steps 90% of the time, you're going to have success and you're going to hit your goal. That's just what we worked out over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reps. There's even financial goals you do here. Like, look at this one. This is a credit card based one. I want to pay X many dollars to my credit card, start with the $15,000 balance, get it to $10,000 by the end of this 100-day challenge. So you can do it in a variety of contexts. And all of these impact your quality of life. Because if your finances aren't lined up, you're stressed about that. If your relationships aren't lined up, you're going to be indirectly or directly stressed around that. You're going to feel it. If your quality of life, as far as your leisure and your community aren't there, you're going to feel that. All these things come back to our life and our healthy lifestyle, which is why I have this as a plan. And I make it free for you guys. This is the other part. Like, you know how much people charge tens of thousands of dollars for this 100-day coaching? And now, yes, we do have a package where you can spend $3,000 to $5,000 having a coach working with you one-on-one throughout the entire process and pretty much guarantee you the results. If you stick to the plan 90% of the time, we guarantee you your results. If you're 90% adherent, yes, we do that. But you also have this access for free. You just got to go to our link tree and you get this all for free. All you got to do is just be willing to put in some work. So I wanted to just highlight that, take this as an opportunity. Thank you to Limelight Herbals again for sponsoring this live stream, giving me a reason to come on and share with you guys. Thank you to you guys for jumping in here. Again, I also want to highlight WBM. Thank you for being a longtime sponsor. Also, we've got 28-day reset. This is all stocked, ready to go. We've got our bands. We've got 6 left in our inventory right now. I've ordered 100 units that are coming back in, so get them while you can. And then we'll have some more stock in. If you run into any issues, just let me know. And I appreciate you guys. We're going to be back with some more last night. Cari and I, we're going to probably do a live stream where it talks not just about the fatherhood perspective, but the co-parenting, being able to be a couple, having a new child, that steps. Even we have so many other tools. We also got a new car. So we got things that we get to show you in the new car. Just so many new things are going to be rolling out that I'm really excited to share with you guys. And yeah, I just appreciate you all. I'm going to go enjoy some time with the kids before I go get Lena and hang out. And with that being said, cheers, everybody. Bink. Bye, y'all.